Welcome to Data Talk, presented by IDEA Data and Research. DATA stands for Data Analysis Techniques Applied. Data Talk is a series of webinars for Arkansas's local education agencies on the use of data, particularly for special education staff. In this episode, we will look at using the advanced search option in the student management system to pull a list of students who received services throughout the school year for school-age and early childhood programs. What question are we answering today? We often get asked, my superintendent wants to know how many students were served in our special education program this school year. How do I find this information? The information can be found in the student management system by conducting an advanced search. Is this the only information wanted, or do you want to create a custom search so you can review your student data for the year? Before we start to build the advanced search, let's review the search logic of the student management system. Understanding the logic of data systems can be overwhelming. You need to know the data logic to answer the question being asked. The order of the query can change the results. You need to understand the content of the data and how it is related. And will the system allow queries with multiple options? If my query logic is fiscal year equals 2018 and active equals Y, then all I get are those records that are still active. However, if my query logic is fiscal year equals 2018 and active equals yes or no, then I get records that represents everyone in 2018. It is important to input the query or advanced search in the correct order to answer the question. If I want students who are active in special education in the 2017-18 school year, one would think that if I search for school-age student end dates greater than 6/30/2017, or the end date was blank as seen in the advanced search table below, a list of students will be displayed on the screen. While the list of students from the student management system is produced, the search results brings up any student with a blank end date, even those that were never in special education. We never entered into the query that we needed students that had an entry date in special education. That is why learning the data logic is important. In the next search example, we want a list of students who were active in special education in the 2017-18 school year, but this time we will add the school-age program start date to the search. In the student management system, the advanced search requires the search criteria to be grouped with an or in between the groupings. If I fail to include the full grouping like the example below, the search will fail. Because the student management system requires the query to group each component of the search, in my example, the advanced search resulted in 0 records being found. I failed to repeat the first row after the or. The school-age start date and end date are in rows 1 and 2. And will provide results for those students who have exited. However, when I add an OR statement to the advanced search and do not repeat row 1, the group with the end date being blank, the search fails. It fails because the system is not sure what to do with the first row. Our minds automatically repeat the first row for each OR statement, but the search function does not know to repeat. In creating an advanced search to answer the question posed by the superintendent, how many students were served in our special education program this school year, I will first take you through the search criteria for school age and then display the search for early childhood. To answer the question, one must first log into the student management system and click on the student search. Select the advanced search and clear all the criteria and display fields. For the advanced search, there is a total of 4 rows that must be completed. The first row has area equals school-age program, selected from the drop-down menu. The field name equals school-age program start date, selected from the drop-down menu. The condition is less than, and the value is 7/1/2018. We enter 7/1/2018 because we want all students who entered special education before the end of the 17-18 school year. The second row begins with AND. The area equals school age program. The field name is school age program end date. The condition equals greater than, and the value is 6/30/2017. The reason we use 6/30/2017 is because we want to include students who became inactive in the 17-18 school year. The first two rows of the criteria will give you students who were active at some point in the LEA special education program in the school year, but are no longer active in special education. The third row begins with OR, and the first row is repeated. Area equals school age program, field name equals school age program start date, condition equals less than, and the value is 7/1/2018. The fourth row begins with AND. The area equals school age program, the field name equals school age program end date, and the condition is blank. We use the is blank option for conditions, so we pick up the students who are still active and do not have an end date yet. Rows 3 and 4 provide you with the students who are still active in the LEA's special education program. After you have entered all the criteria, click on Search. Just like school age, the early childhood criteria for the advanced search has a total of 4 rows that must be completed. The first row has area equals early childhood program, selected from the drop-down menu. Field name equals early childhood program start date, also selected from the drop-down menu. Condition equals less than, and the value is 7/1/2018. Just like school age, we enter 7/1/2018 because we want all students who entered special education before the end of the school year. The second row begins with AND. Then the area equals early childhood program, field name equals early childhood program end date, condition equals greater than, and the value is 6/30/2017. The reason we use 6/30/2017 is because we want to include students who became inactive in the 17-18 school year. The first 2 rows of the criteria will give you students who were active at some point in the LEA's special education program in the school year, but are no longer active in special education. The third row begins with OR, and the first row is repeated. Area equals early childhood program, field name, early childhood program start date, condition equals less than, and the value is 7/1/2018. The fourth row begins with AND. Then the area equals early childhood program, field name equals early childhood program end date, and the condition is blank. Rows 3 and 4 provides you with the students who are still active in the LEA special education program. After you have entered all the criteria, click on Search. After you select Search, a list of students will display on the screen, and just above the list of students, the number of records found is displayed. The screenshot on the right displays the results. So to answer the question posed by the superintendent, there were 2,690 students served by the special education program in 2017-18 school year. Let us expand the information being pulled into the search so we can look at some of the data being submitted in Cycle 7. Using the same advanced search criteria, let us add some fields to be displayed with our list of students. If you are wondering what fields are in Cycle 7, go to the ADE Data Center at https://adedata.arkansas.gov/SIS/SIShandbooks.aspx and select the handbook for the required year. For our example, the year is 2017-2018. Look for the tables labeled as Special Education School Age or Special Education Early Childhood and look at those items coded for Cycle 7. Note that some of the field notes are slightly different in the SIS Manual compared to the student management screens. Let's expand the information so we can now look at some of the data being submitted in Cycle 7. Underneath the Custom Search criteria, click on the button to select Custom and then begin selecting the area and fields to be displayed. A snapshot of the custom field screen is presented on the right side of the screen. The challenge is knowing what area the required data is located in the student management system, and you may have to do some exploration. The best way to ensure you have the fields is to look in the SIS Manual, which can be found at the ADE Data Center website. The field names in the SIS Manual, remember, may be slightly different than what is on the screen of the student management system. To select your fields to display, the data will come from the following areas: personal, demographic, school-age student or early childhood general information, school-age program or early childhood program. The SIS Manual has some information that when building the report in advanced search you will not need to include. The list of area and field names on the next set of slides are those which should be included for your internal analysis. The display fields for the school age program begins with personal and demographic areas. Under the area personal, the fields are State Report ID and Federal Race Ethnicity. Under the area of demographics, the fields are student first name, student middle name, student last name, grade level, building, gender, and birth date. The field names that are to be displayed from the area of school-age student include charter school status, ELL status, primary disability, educational placement, and educational placement previous year. The field names that are to be displayed from the area of school-age program include withdrawal reason, end date, and start date. Now let us look at early childhood. The display fields for early childhood begin with the personal and demographic areas. Under the area of personal is Federal Race Ethnicity. Under the area of demographic is student first name, student middle name, student last name, gender, and birth date. The field names that are to be displayed from the area of early childhood program include start date, end date, and withdrawal reason. The field names that are to be displayed from the area of early childhood general information include resident LEA, ELL status, primary disability, educational environment, program type, transition conference date, transition code, and conference LEA. Continuing with the area of early childhood general information, you would also select entry assessment date, entry social emotional functional score, entry knowledge skills functional score, entry self-help functional score, exit assessment date, exit social emotional functional score, exit knowledge skills functional score, exit self-help functional score, social emotional improvement, knowledge skills improvement, self-help improvement. Once you have listed all of the fields to display, click on Search. The list of students and their information will display on the screen. On the top of the page, click on Report. On the next screen, select Excel. Name your report and click Run. The Excel file will be displayed on your home screen. When you go to open it from your home screen, you will be required to log in to the student management system again. This is a security measure. You can also save the file to your computer or LEA network. Please remember that the file contains personal information about students and should be treated as sensitive information and stored in a secure location. Now that you have your file, you can open it and sort the data in various ways to verify your students, identify missing data, student exited but there is no exit date and reason, Child has an exit date and reason, but EC outcome exit data is missing. Identify errors such as misspelled names, wrong exit codes, etc. Compare to the SIS detail report during the Cycle 7 submission window. Remember, if you make changes in the special education module after you generated this report, you will need to rerun your advanced search to compare it to the new SIS detail report. Thank you for reviewing Data Talk. We hope you have found it to be helpful and will join us for upcoming webinars. If you wish to contact us, you may do so through the mail at IDEA Data and Research, University of Arkansas at Little Rock, 2801 South University Avenue, Education 209, Little Rock, Arkansas 72204. Our phone number is 501-683-7219. Our fax number is 501-569-8238. If you have any questions, you can contact Dr. Jody Fields at jafields@ualr.edu.